Hey everybody, it's 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to give a couple of people just a little bit more time to actually join. I'll say about 4 more minutes. So we're going to go ahead and get started at 7:05. Go ahead and grab something to drink or use the restroom. And I'm eating tacos. So I'm going to eat this last bit of taco and turn off my camera so you guys don't see me devour a taco. Again, guys, we're going to get started in about 2-3 minutes, just waiting for people to come on in. You should be able to chat to the right of your screen if you want to ask any questions or just say hi. If you actually want to join in and have a conversation, PM me on Facebook your email, and I'll go ahead and add you. But like I said, we're going to give about 2 more minutes for people, or those people that are still coming in. So welcome. We're going to have some fun. Right. Again, for those who are just joining, we have about 1 more minute that we're giving folks to go ahead and join. If you want, feel free to ask questions over to the right. You should see a group chat. At the bottom, there's the box. You can go ahead and ask anything that you want. But now it's like the perfect time to use the restroom or get something to drink if you're like me and you don't want to miss anything. All right, so I'm seeing people come in. Hey, everyone. Just giving people literally just a couple more seconds and then we're going to get going. If you actually want to join in on the conversation, besides just chatting, go ahead and PM me your email address and I will send out an alert for you to join the Google chat, and you just join, give audio and or video permissions, and you can join in the chat. Otherwise, we'll be getting started here in a couple seconds. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get going. So for those that come in kind of late, they just come in kind of late. The hangout's pretty casual. We just kind of discuss anything from actual FBA to private labeling, and it's just a casual conversation. If you want to join the conversation, definitely do so. Just PM me your email. I'll go ahead and send out the invite. One thing a lot of people are asking me about, and let me turn off my phone, is like branding. Like, how do you actually go about branding? As far as branding is concerned, what I do is I actually search the company name that I'm thinking about, or the brand name that I'm thinking about, because I definitely don't want to choose a brand that other people are like using, because then you're running into legal issues. And let's face it, when we're getting started, we're trying to save as much money as possible. So legal issues is not something we want to run into. So I go ahead and do a search for the company name. There's a couple of ways that you can do that. But Google is definitely your friend in this case, because you can find resources to actually do business searches and brand searches, trademark sites as well. There's lots of directories, so you can actually search the brand that you're thinking about naming your company. And then as far as the logo, me getting started, I didn't have a lot of money, and I still don't have a lot of money, but I just went to Fiverr.com, and literally I got great logos done for $5. And if you want to spend a little bit more, it can range on up to $50 or $100 for a really great logo. Now, a lot of times I see people use this site called 99 Designs, and basically what it is you post up your project, and people are like bidding, so to speak, on your job, but they're sending samples of the logo. So you actually get to choose from a wide selection of logos. So you kind of share with the possible designers what your concept is, what the name of your business or your brand is. And they come back in like a contest type form, and they say, hey, choose me. This is what I did for you. So it's kind of cool, because you can say how much you're going to pay or you're willing to pay, and you get to actually choose from a wide selections of logos and design. So if you're like me and you like choices, then 99 Designs could be a great fit, but it's not something if you're really, really tight on budget. If you're really, really tight, I would just suggest you go to Fiverr.com. Like I said, Fiverr.com will do the trick. There's lots of great designers on there that are just looking to make a part-time income. There are some people with like hundreds of orders a day, so they're definitely making a full type income. And you can view their feedback, so you can see if other people were happy, as well as see around what time it's going to take for you to get everything back. Let's see what else I can update you on. Actually putting it on your product or putting it on the box. It really kind of just depends on you in that sense. Guys, give me 1 minute. There's some people coming in, and they want me to actually add them to the chat, which I'm going to do, because it's not just me preaching to you guys. That'd be kind of boring. So let me go ahead and invite. Let's see. All right, thank you. So Paul, I just advise you, please come on in. As far as putting your brand on your product, it depends on what the actual product is. Like if it's a product that's made out of cloth, obviously you don't want to put a sticker on the cloth, because it's just going to come right off. So you might want to consider like a label, a tagless type label, if it's something that that's not going to be showing. A patch could be good too. So it's like an actual patch that's on there. And then what I'm seeing a lot of people do is put on the patch the web address. So if let's say you're making something for guinea pigs, the guinea pig has your product on, it has the patch with your brand name on it, and it also has the website. And someone grabs the guinea pig and looks at the guinea pig like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. Where did you get this? they can look at the label and they can see that they got it from www.guineapigshirts.com. And then they can go ahead and do that. And that's kind of how you get some of that traffic back to your website. And then like for my website, everything redirects to Amazon. So I don't know if your website will be selling the product or if the website will be redirecting to Amazon, but either way, more people can find you through like a viral aspect. So that's one way to do it if like you have cloth. Now, if you have like a metal type of material, I've seen a lot of people, and I've considered it myself, but it is a little bit more expensive, but it looks good, is people will have their brand engraved. Now that also depends on the type of like logo that you have as well, or how you want to be branded. Like if you just want your name, then it's going to be, you know, it's going to work. But if you have like some very fancy design, it's not going to work. And that's something I actually forgot to tell you guys when it comes to the branding aspect. And when you're making your logo, try to make it as simple as possible, because when you print, you don't want so much details that when it prints, it starts to bleed and it blends in. And now your logo doesn't look like your logo at all. Because there's some logos that, let's be realistic, it's only going to look good when it's like on a website or when it's printed at a very high resolution. And with labels, unfortunately, there are resolution restrictions. My labels actually came out a lot better than I anticipated, but my logo at a very small space, it wasn't the best. I should have simplified it more. But you know, it's a learning experience. So yeah, consider that when you're getting your logo or your brand icon made. Simple is best. A short, sweet, memorable name. Make sure that, you know what I'm saying, it relates to your product. If you're selling something for let's say mechanics, you know, you don't want a word that does not in any way associate with mechanics. You don't want that, because you want them to remember your name. When someone else sees the product, they're like, oh, where did you get this from? And then when they read it off, they can tell the other person. It's easy for them to remember, if that makes sense. There's still some people coming in, guys. I'm going to quickly add them. Give me just one moment. And guys, feel free to chat in the box. Let me know what you are interested in learning or what problems you're having, what stage you are in your business. I wouldn't say I'm an expert at any means at all, but I'm here to help. This is why you're here. So please feel free to go ahead and ask the questions over to the box, and give me one moment to just ask some other people. And sorry, guys, for some reason, I don't think the invite will go to your email. I think it actually goes as like a notification. So if you sign in your Gmail and you look to the top right, I think there's going to be like a 1 in a red circle, and you click that and then you join. So for some reason, it doesn't really email and invite you. I'm not really sure why. You got to ask Google, but Google does a lot of things that we don't really understand. So it's cool. All right, let's see. All right, got one more person to add, guys. Okay, so I think everybody that like wants to be added is added, just as no one is joined. Okay, so I mean, as far as branding, guys, really it is just as simple as making sure that the name is not already taken, getting a very simple logo or brand icon made, and then putting it on your product. If it's going to be expensive to put on your product, or another thing I see is people can't reach the minimum order quantity for your manufacturer to put it on. There are several workarounds around that. What you can do is you can have your product shipped to the US. You can have the labels shipped to you, and then you can actually have them put together here domestically. You can have that done. If you don't want to do it like that, there are companies in China, and probably, I don't know, I think some people import from India as well. I just do China and some domestic. But there are companies in China that will allow you to send the product to their factory. They put the labels on, and then they send to you. So if you have a small order and your manufacturer's just like, no, with this small order, we're not going to label it, go ahead and see if you could reach out to those who do label, and then have them label and then ship to you. So it's going to take a little longer, but if the label or the branding icon is important to you on your product, you could do it that way. Another workaround is actually having boxes or containers or packages done with your logo on. That's another thing people do. And with that, you can actually find people who actually do packaging in China as well. I know a lot of people are really big on keeping everything domestic wherever you're from. So there are companies, especially in the U.S., that will do the smaller quantities. You know, they'll do 50 boxes, 100 boxes, 200 boxes. So you could do it that way too. And then you could have it shipped to your house, both the boxes or the packaging and the item, and then you can manually put it in and then send to Amazon. If you do not want to do it like that, the other solution that I've seen, and some people just don't like it because they feel like it's just not enough, is you having an insert card in, and the insert card will have your brand logo on it, and underneath they'll have like a little message, like a mission statement about your company or your brand. And then another thing I see people do with that same card is saying, hey, you know, we're small but we're growing. Leave us feedback in order to really reach more eyes and ears. And, you know, that kills kind of two birds with one stone. I promised someone I wouldn't use that saying. But that allows for you to ask for feedback as well as actually have your brand associated with that product. So the item won't be branded, but your brand will be like in the little bag or the packaging that your supplier ships in. Give me just a moment, guys. All right. So, guys, are there any specific questions you guys have about branding? Are there any specific questions? Because I think I covered a good bit, but I think I did a good job of something and I didn't. So if you could ask either on Facebook or in the chat to the right, that'd be great. I'm going to give you guys just a moment to ask so that I can actually answer your questions. I really want you guys to feel like your time has been used wisely with me. I really thank you guys for joining. Let's see. Give me 1 minute, guys. Just alerting more people. Okay, so like another big one for some people was them being concerned about, sorry, my roommate's dog is digging up the carpet. Another big concern for some people, how many products under your brand? Oh, that's a great question. Only one. Uno. I have one product under my brand. I have another one being manufactured now that will take 60 days to manufacture, about 5 days to get over here. So as soon as that comes out, there'll be 2 products. The goal under the specific brand I'm working with now is to have 3 products because I actually want to sell the business in about 2 years. I do plan on making another brand here in the next couple of months in a different niche. So right now, like, I'm in the pet niche, and I will be moving forward with like the home and home and kitchen niche. So I actually started with the home and kitchen niche in December of 2013, and I failed. The product was oversaturated. There was so much competition. The course that I actually purchased, there were a lot of people choosing the same product I was choosing, so it was disastrous. However, guys, I did not stick with it, and I came back like 6 or 7 months later, and people who had like chosen my product were like killing it. They were doing like a couple dozen sales a day. So had I stuck with it, you know, it would have been awesome. I saw success a lot faster this time around with the pet niche product. I was selling 12 a day within the first week. And you would think it's a good problem to have, but I'm officially out of inventory. Being out of inventory sucks because now I'm not making any money. I won't be back in stock for another 11 days, but I'm not counting. But in 11 days, I'll be back in stock. So right now, the only form of income I have is from like freelancing for some clients overseas and my part-time job, because I still do have a part-time job, which I plan on quitting this year. Having a job is not for me. It's never been for me. So yeah, Paul, I only have one product under my brand. I have one in the works. One's being manufactured. So working on that. But yeah, just one product, and the one product is or has made me a nice little amount of money in profit. I think I was at like $1,500 in 3-4 weeks. So I mean, not by any means a lot, but you know, $1,500. I could do something with $1,500. I'm pretty sure we all could do something with that. Again, guys, if you have any questions, Facebook, message me, put it on the post, or chat. Get involved. This is your time. One thing that I looked on the group, and one thing someone was asking me when I said, hey, I want to do a podcast, what do you guys suggest, is how do you make safe transactions once you find a supplier, which is an excellent question. Guys, I've lost hundreds of dollars back when I first started importing. I started Amazon maybe like a year or something ago. It found success maybe like 2 months ago. But I've been importing since like 04, 06. But I've lost hundreds of dollars by investing in scammers, like big scammers. And each and every time it just broke my heart because I'm emailing them. I'm like, hey, your tracking shipping thingy doesn't work. Was it DHL or maybe it was FedEx? And then, for a while they would email me and then leave me on. And then I would find out that, that they weren't going to send me anything. So some ways to actually go ahead and reduce your risk. For starters, no matter what, if you're using like DHgate or Alibaba, and Miss Khan, I see your question. I'll definitely look at it in just a moment. But as far as a safe supplier, if you're getting it from a website, like I said, such as like DHgate or Alibaba, look at the rating. You can actually look at a company and you can see how long they've been on the website. If a company is a scammer, they're not going to be, 12 years on the site. They're just not, guys, because they're going to complain so much. Alibaba's going to take them down. Make sure that you're using gold suppliers. It doesn't have as much weight as it once did, but it's still something good to look at if you're using Alibaba. There's other websites that will use their own systems of having a verified type company. But yeah, that's one thing. See if you can check how long they've been in business. Also ask them if they have U.S. importers as of now. If they don't, that's fine. See if they have European importers. If they're like, no, we really don't, we haven't imported to, North America, South America, Europe, we kind of just import like within the mainland, I would not do business with them. You want someone who's familiar with actually moving product from wherever they are, because like I said, I know not everyone's importing from China, but wherever they are to the U.S. You want someone who has that experience, because it's going to come in handy when you're, getting ready to ship. When you want to make sure all the paperwork's done, because guys, you don't want your product held in customs. They can say that it's going to take 5 days to look at, but to be honest, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee at all. So with that being said, make sure that you have a supplier who is familiar with importing to the U.S. or Europe. That's really important. If you're on another continent or in another country, I would definitely ask, hey, have you ever imported here before? But importing to the US and Europe is a good sign that, they, what I'm saying, they know what they're doing. Also, never, ever, ever, guys, please never, ever go with a supplier who only accepts bank transfers, also known as T/T, or Western Union, or money bookers, wiring money, period. Bank transfers is a form of wiring. If that is the only thing they accept, do not do business with them. You wire money, do bank transfers to save money, but only after you and your supplier have a relationship and you trust them. That you know that by sending this, $10,000 and running away with it, your supplier would have so much more to lose, because that $10,000 could have easily been, multiplied a couple months down the road. Build that professional relationship and that trust, and then move to bank transfers. But do not use bank transfers and Western Unions in the very beginning. It's a bad sign for any company overseas that only accepts that. It's the price of business. And some say, well, for them, PayPal costs a little bit more, or credit cards cost more, or escrow costs more. Well, that's when you say, you know what, I understand, that's an expense you probably, don't want to handle. I will pay the PayPal fee. I will pay the escrow fee, especially when you're doing like samples, because, and we'll get into that. But make sure that they are willing to take a safer form. With the credit card, you can dispute it. And with them being like an international company, a lot of times they're not going to reach out to MasterCard or Visa or American Express and say, yeah, here's the proof that we sent it to them. And it's going to be really hard if they did scam you to say that they didn't scam you. So you're protected. Credit card. PayPal has a form of protection as well, as long as it's like a physical product and not a service or a digital good. What I do is I pay with my credit card through PayPal. So I have 2 layers of protection. When I get to know my supplier, trust my supplier, it is a lot more cost efficient if I do bank transfers. But that's only after I know my supplier. Another thing you can do is actually, let's see, what was I going to say? Sorry, guys, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Well, back to the samples. After you verify that, they're a company that's been around for a while, they accept more than just bank transfer or wiring service like Western Union or MoneyGram, you're going to go ahead and request a sample. Just a simple, hey, me and my company are very excited to see your product. Would it be possible for us to get a sample, maybe 1, 2, 3 items, so that we can test the quality before ordering in bulk, so we know everything's to our standards. I have yet to come across a legitimate company that says no when I ask for samples. They know we're looking for a long-term relationship. Businesses that have been doing this understand that you have to give samples in order to make sure the quality is good, and no one wants to fork over hundreds of dollars and possibly have excuse my French, shitty product. Nobody wants to do that. That's really risky. So people who have been in this industry already will know that that's just the price to pay. Now, not all the time will samples be free. Sometimes samples will be free. Sometimes samples will be free if you pay the shipping. Sometimes you will have to pay a sample fee. It just depends on the supplier. It's not abnormal to pay a sample fee. Pay like the per unit price for that, or it's not unusual for you to get a product with another person's brand on it already, because that's the product that they have in stock. There's a lot of manufacturers that make orders on demand. So what they're sending you is like an extra that they made already, so they don't have to fire back up the machine. So it's, like I said, it's not unusual for someone to send you a sample with another person's brand or logo on it, and it's not unusual for you to have to pay a sample fee or shipping to get the sample. Give me one moment, guys. I see some people asking some questions. I'm going to go ahead and look at what they are. Okay, cool. All right. So I got a pretty good question, and it's basically if you have an LLC and you have different products and like different niches, um, would you brand them different? Yes. Um, my pet product in no way would be a good fit for the home line that I want to come out with. It's just like umbrella companies. I don't know if you're here in the US, but like Red Lobster, Olive Garden, Bahama Breeze, they're all owned by one company, but they're different entities. You know, Red Lobster is known for its seafood specialty. Bahama Breeze is Bahamian selection, and Olive Garden for its Italian selection. All three different things, three different brands. We know them, you know, we know the difference between them, but they're all owned by one company, one corporation. They're all one corporation. But we identify them in different ways. So yes, I would strongly suggest that if you have different products in different type of niches under your LLC, definitely brand differently. Unless it's just like a universal just name. Just and that's gonna be kind of hard to come up with. But if you can, yeah, cool. You know. What's that? Is it Home and Decker? I'm sorry guys, I'm not a tool person, but what is it? Something in Becker or something. I don't know. But they make power tools, but they also make like coffee makers. So, you know, the same thing I'm hanging up things with around the house and screwing things with is the same company that made my coffee maker. So it really kind of just depends. I hope I answered your question. So it's definitely, you know, not abnormal for you to see different brands under just one LLC. But you can make it work if you have just like a really universal name. If you have a universal brand name, go for it, girl. If not, no, don't do it. Because like I said, I have a pet product. And if my pet product is called Doggy Works, I don't think I should make a toaster oven with Doggy Works on it. That's just, it's weird. It's an identity thing. It's just, I don't think people are going to relate to it. I think people are probably gonna look at my toaster like, is it a toaster for dogs, for dog biscuits? Like, there's like an identity issue there. So yeah, it just really depends on what the brand and the logo is. So hope I answered your question. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, Paul, I'm with you. Paul says, you know, different branding for different products. One should not eat away at the other. Right. You don't want one brand to take away from another. Like I said, some companies can make it work. I hardly see it, but some companies make it work. Like I said, Home and Decker, Becker, whatever that company's name is. Does anyone know what brand I'm talking about? Whoever they are, you know, they make power tools and they make stuff for around the house, toaster ovens, coffee makers. So they make it work. They're a household name. No one questions their authority, but I really want to suggest it for people like us. So let me go back and see if there's any questions I did not address. Having a lot of fun, guys. I wish more people would talk, though. Last time was a lot more fun because people were talking. So let's see. Appreciate your patience, guys. And like I said, I'm just reading the questions, so I'm making sure I address everyone's questions and concerns. Yes, I answered your question. Okay, awesome. All right, so let me see. Give me one sec, guys. Like I said, I'm just searching for questions that people had. And if you have questions, put it over in the chat. Black & Decker, yes, thank you. I could not think of that company. I see a couple more people that just joined. I was struggling to identify this certain brand that produced products in several different niches, such as power tools and like things for the kitchen. And we were talking about brand identity in different niches, and I couldn't think of Black and Decker. I was calling it all type of things. I was calling it Home and Becker. That's awful. All right, so just checking out some questions on here. Oh, someone wants to know getting started with private label on a small budget. Great question. I started mine on a $300 budget. I don't know if that's cheap or not. Oh, wait, got another question. How does customs work, getting your product from customs and delivered to your warehouse? Unfortunately, or fortunately for me, my supplier is like awesome. They ask me a couple questions. They fill out all the paperwork for me. I've never had a problem with customs. I really don't know much about customs. Like I said, my company takes care of everything. Someone told me that if my company for some reason had failed to take care of things for me, that, you know, the freight forwarder, a really good freight forwarder, would be able to take care of that paperwork for me. But Paul, unfortunately, I'm a bit of a cheater there when it comes to customs. Know nothing about them. Don't know any workarounds, any mistakes. My supplier is just like freaking awesome. They're the best. Sorry, so I'm not going to be much help there. But the question as it pertains to starting with private label on a small budget. So not as difficult as you guys think. Like I said, I got started with 300. The same thing with like the branding and the supplier information that I gave you guys earlier. Actually going and requesting a sample. The sample cost me $50. It was $50, and I got 5 of the items. So $50, 5 of the items, and I made that money back because I sold it on eBay. So right there, I got that money back. So $50, 5 items for me to check out, look at, make sure, you know, it worked. And then I resold all but one on eBay, and I made that $50 back. I also reached out to the eBay buyers that purchased, and I said, how was your product? Because the product that I actually sell on Amazon, guys, I don't use for myself or the pet that's in my house. He doesn't use it. Oh, wow. He's in a really odd position right now, but he doesn't use it. And one thing that I'm learning, I just invested into like another course, and they said something that holds very true to me. You don't have to be in love with your product. Just be in love with the process. Be in love with what Amazon can do for you. I'm not in love with my product. It's not something that I proudly show people like, look at my product. You like this? Would you like to buy it? You know, you want to? No. The only time I really bring up my product to friends and family is if I need reviews. I'm a user, guys. But yeah, so after getting the samples, I sold all the samples but one on eBay, and I got that money back. So boom, right there, I'm out of pocket, nothing but some time. From there, how does everything work? The samples are good, and I tell them, hey, you know, everything looks good, but we really want to know how you work with bulk or larger orders. So we like to put in a smaller bulk order. And from here, this is what we'll order the next time if that shipment goes well. And then from here, the third time is usually when I meet their minimum order quantity, because by that time, I have the money to order at the MOQ. So a lot of times they're okay with the smaller order because we're still forming that relationship. I purchase the samples, they see I'm serious. And then some people say, well, they absolutely demand the MOQ. At that point, you say, you know what? I know that your minimum is $500, and I know it's $1 per piece. I'm willing to pay $1.15 per piece because I know that this is a smaller quantity than usual. I'd like 200 items. And guys, this is exactly what I did. You know, I put it out there, and I let them know that the next time I will order this amount, and the next time after that I'll be able to meet your MOQ. And, you know, just, you know, gave them my word on it. and that was sufficient for them. I was also very upfront with that in the very beginning, before I even wasted their time. All right, so on smaller orders, are you asking for the brand on it? Yes, I'm asking for the brand on it. If they can't do it because of the minimum quantity order, it goes back to what we discussed very earlier on. I will have the product sent to another factory to have the label put on, or I will have packaging done and the packaging sent to me and the item sent to me, and I'll manually go ahead and package it up so that my branding is on the box. Guys, give me just one moment. Appreciate your patience. Having a lot of fun, guys. Ask away on your questions. Loving what's coming in, the concerns. Of course, I'm not going to be able to answer all your questions because, like I said, I still consider myself pretty new as well. Anyhow, back to the small orders. So after that, after going ahead and getting an agreement that they're going to send a small order, I go ahead and have that first bulk order sent to my house. I do not immediately ship to Amazon because I need to make sure that they're packaging right. I need to make sure I have the right quantity order in there. And yes, counting 200 items sucks, but it makes me, know that they're not going to, I don't want to use the word cheat, but that they're double checking their work. I don't want 199 items. I want 200 items if I order 200. Now, there's been times where I've ordered 200 and I've got 212. That's cool too. And then what I do is I just reach out to them and say, hey, I had 212 in the box. Did you know that? A lot of times I do know that. Yeah, we have some extras. We wanted you to have it. Boom. Now, if they didn't know they had 212 and they just sent it to me, that still would concern me because if they're over by 12, what keeps them from being under by 12 the next time or a time where they're sending to Amazon? Now, after the first one or two times actually shipping to my house, the bulk orders, and everything looks good, then I actually have them ship to Amazon. And in order to ship to Amazon, you need two things. You need a label on the outside of the box for them to actually process it. It's not a shipping label. It's more of a label for their record so they can process in your units. And then in the inside of your box, you need the slip with the quantity number and the name of the products. So I just go ahead and get that information from Amazon and I forward it over to my supplier and say, hey, this needs to be on the outside of the box. This needs to be on the inside of the box. This is how many units need to be on the inside of this box. And they'll go ahead and send it to Amazon. Now, why do I do this, send it to Amazon by the second or third time? It saves time and it saves money. If I already trust that, everything's in here how it's supposed to be, instead of me paying, the shipping fee to get it from my manufacturer to me, and then from me to Amazon, I'll cut myself out because I now trust and know my supplier will go ahead and do right by the process, and I'll go ahead and send it right to the to Amazon. And it also, like I said, it cuts on cost because I don't have to pay from getting it to me to Amazon, and also cuts back on time because I added about 6 days, maybe even 7 days by having it sent to me first, the first couple of times, the bulk orders. And the orders just got larger and larger until I was able to meet the MOQ. And what I'm seeing from other people who have gotten started like last year, companies that see you finally reach their MOQ, they always have like something good to tell you in reference like to it, or some add-on. They'll say, oh, well, now that you've met our MOQ, we can explore other options. They'll be able to put the label on. One guy was actually able to get his brand on the product at no additional charge. So he had been, using external ways to get his branding associated with the product. But after he reached the MOQ, the company was like, we'll put your brand on there and there's no charge. Like there's no extra at all. So he was paying the same amount per piece. No, he was paying a little bit less because his order quantity went up, but he didn't have to pay any more to get it like branded. So that was pretty cool. What other questions do you guys have? either use it over to the chat or ask it over to the chat or ask it in Facebook. I want to make sure that I'm addressing as many concerns and questions. I know someone was talking about getting started on PL on a low budget, and I think that's like the best way. Like I said, getting the samples, if you can, or if you're willing, selling the samples on like eBay or Craigslist so you can make a little bit of that money back. Being very upfront from the start that, you know, depending on the MOQ, because some people will have a lower MOQ, but saying, you know, this is how we're going to do it. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Stage 1 being a lower MOQ. For example, if the minimum quantity is 1,000, maybe you doing 200, 300 like I did. Stage 2, once everything is good with that, you know, move on to like 500, and then from there, move on to the minimum. Because by that time, you're making the profit so that you can afford that. And it's not even so much profit because, you know, you have to consider that you're going to make your money back, or you should be planning on making your money back because you have that margin so that you're making your money back. So even if you were to just take away the pure profit, you would still be able to order the, you know, the same amount. But you don't want to do that. You want to make good on your word. If you're saying you're going to order 200, 300 this time, you want to make sure that the next time is that next level, whatever you've told them. You know, I'm going to order 500 this time, and then, you know, by the third time I order, I'll be meeting your MOQ. So you want to make sure that you're making, you know, saying good on your word. So I see some questions are more like legal questions. I don't want to give anyone bad advice or anything that I haven't come across, such as like liability, risk, insurance. Those aren't things. Well, I mean, there's, you know, some risk factors that I've kind of decreased for myself, but some things, guys, that people are asking, you know, you're really going to want to seek professional advice. You know, a CPA, a lawyer, not me, not me or your buddy. Let's see. Oh, okay. So someone asked me, what happens if you can't find like your product or the manufacturer on Alibaba? That's happened to me before. Actually, the second product that I have coming out is to be manufactured happened to me before. So what did I do? There's a couple ways you can do it. I purchased the product that I wanted, and I had video made of it. Like I made video of it, and like I kind of took it apart as much as I could, and I showed, hey, this is what this does. This is what I need. You see this? You see that? This is why this is like this. Taking as many pictures as I can. Looked up any like infographics that I could to give them a better idea of how everything functions. That's kind of like the big thing, like the look and feel and the function of the product, because it's hard to explain something when they don't have it in hand. I've also did as much as ship a product to a factory overseas. Shipping from the U.S. to China for some reason is far more than shipping to China to here. I don't know why. I have no clue why. But I did ship something from the U.S. to China. Very lightweight item. It cost me like $54. It's ridiculous, guys. But you can do that as well. You can actually ship the item over there. I kind of say do that as a last resort, especially if you're on a low budget or you're trying to bootstrap things. Again, lost my train of thought. Sorry. I haven't been drinking today. I don't really know why. Sorry, guys. But for me, it was videos, pictures, finding material on that product so that they can get an idea of how the product looks and how it functions. And keep in mind that for some reason, I don't know, but there are websites that people in a good bit of parts of China can't access. YouTube being one, I think Facebook being the other. So if you're making a video for them, you'll have to like email them an MP4 file. You're not going to want to like put it on YouTube or give them a YouTube link. Now that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to find a video on YouTube and just send them a link, say, hey, look at this video. But several suppliers have told me, you know, we can't view YouTube here in China. So you'll actually have to either make the video yourself or find a MP4 version of that video and then send it over to your supplier via email. You can do that, or, and this is something else I've done, and it's actually a process. It takes some more time, takes money. I've had someone like actually sketch out the product how I wanted to design, because I wanted to totally redesign it. One thing I really would suggest is kind of staying away from that model. If you have to totally redesign it, just stay away from it. You know, small modifications are great, but I was totally redesigning this thing according to feedback I had gotten on Amazon and eBay and like review sites. And I'm pretty sure it would have been very profitable in the long run, but getting started, because we are talking about getting started on a low budget, it's not cost efficient. You know, I was paying $100 for sketches, and even the sketches, sometimes it wasn't clear to my manufacturer, and then I had to go and have them revise the sketch, which was another, you know, $50, $100, and it just became really expensive before I even had a product in hand, and before my manufacturer even grasped what the heck I was trying to convey to them. So yeah, don't do that. So yeah, I would say video being the number one way. A lot of times you may have to pay what's called a mold fee, because if it's something that they're not already making, they will have to make you know, the mold so that they can make it. So you may have to pay a fee for that, which is actually a good ideal if you're going to be, you know, pretty much like the only one selling it. For example, the product that I have in production right now, beside the main company selling this product, there is only one other product like the one I'm having manufactured. So literally, it's going to be a competition between 3 people. Guys, I am okay with competing on Amazon against 2 other people. I am super excited about this, but it was a very lengthy process. I got started with it like in September-ish. I'm just now putting in my order, because they had to get a mold made. They had to make this the sample. They sent me the sample. I had to tell them, okay, well, this is cool, but this isn't. This needs to be changed. So we had to do changes. And the good part is they finally settled on the MOQ for me. Their minimum order quantity was 500. I got them down to 100, and I even got them to put my label on it. Like, they were really, really wanting my business. So, you know, sometimes you will look out in that aspect. But yeah, to answer that question, easiest way to get a product that is not being manufactured, or you can't find a supplier in on Alibaba that produces that product, find someone that is close to that product or that style, reach out to them, and send them a video or pictures or some literature on the product. And a lot of times, as long as they understand and grasp the ideal, they can make the mold so that they can make that product. And you'll want to say, hey, you know, I want you guys to exclusively be my supplier for this product. Can you please not share that you make this product as well? I want to be the only person that orders from you. That way, when other people are looking and struggling to find that same product, they don't find it. It's not now on Alibaba, and you're creating competition for yourself because you saw opportunity, and you know, you work with your supplier to get that mold done, and now any Joe Schmo can come behind you and get it. That's not fair. I mean, life isn't fair, you know, but you've done a lot of work. Clock. It's like an hour-long hangout, guys. Are there any questions at all? It's kind of been like a one-man show here. I'm so sorry you guys missed the last one. It was so much fun. We actually had people talking and chatting. Anyone have any other questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Get on Facebook, PM me, message in the thread, or, of course, in this beautiful chat right here to the right, you guys should see. Any more questions or concerns, or does anyone just want to say hi and tell me how great my hat looks, my beanie? Okay, no, I don't see anyone. Yeah, make sure you have your mic working, man. It'd be great to hear from you. It'd be awesome. Okay, guys, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thank you so much for joining me. I believe I recorded this. There should be a replay. I'll send that out in the thread. You guys have an amazing, amazing night. And if you want to do this again, let me know when, and I'll try to make it happen.